Hi, everyone out there. My name's Bert Lange, a business English coach. I hope I can help you tonight to be a better English speaker at business meeting. You will learn the different techniques to be confident, stand out, and be able to persuade people and give your opinion and make a difference at it. This is going to be a lesson that you can take valuable skills away that will help you. I have taught hundreds of IT and business professionals to do better in their careers, to earn more money, to get promoted by having better business things. That's why you're doing. Want a better future for yourself and your family. The problem is, one of the biggest hurdles for ESL, IT, and business professionals is speaking with confidence in meetings. Is this a problem you have? Let me know in the comments. What are your challenges? What are your goals in English? Today we'll take a deep dive into actionable tips and tricks and simple sample language can help you shine in your. Let's share a story. You can have a story about a friend, Juan, who wasn't doing so well, but then he learned to program in a certain way and he was able to show leadership skills, and he taught his teammates a certain way to use a certain variant Python, and that built confidence in his career. Why is it so important to be confident? Well, your English may not be perfect, but if you have confidence and you speak with authority and you keep that eye contact, you try to be as fluent as you can, plus listen closely, be concise in your answers, it will make such a difference. People hear that confidence, and it's really all about a mindset. So confidence can make or break your career. There was a study that showed that 80% of managers said they view confident employees as being more competent. Preparation is key, of course. It's so important to prepare. Just try to think of the language you're going to use in a meeting. What are the main points that you want to deliver during the meeting? Is there something that you want to bring up? Some questions you've thought about that you want to discuss with? Now, some sample language could be, I'd like to discuss our second quarter goals. My take on this issue is that we need to pivot and look at some other options. I'm not quite satisfied with where we are today. Active listening. The importance of active listening makes your responses more relevant and engaging. How do you show that you were listening? Well, you could nod, use affirmative affirmations. Yes, yeah, that's interesting. I see your point. Good, interesting idea. Nodding, yes, I like that. Sample language. If I understand you correctly, you're suggesting a new approach. Is that right? And could you say a little more about the approach that you're suggesting? You're saying that our timetable is unrealistic. Is that correct? Am I hearing you correct? I can see your point. Makes sense. Now, how would you alter it? Demonstrate a short dialogue. Poor listening versus active listening. Poor listening would be a case of we're not really listening. We're just thinking about what we're going to say next. Have you ever noticed that some people are they're just not being relevant, and they're not even following the context of the conversation because they just want to say something else. They just want to be heard and they don't want to listen. This is a big mistake. None of us like this. We all want to be heard. We want to consider our ideas. Then there are nonverbal cues. Body language is very important. If we fold our arms like this, well, we know that people aren't being very. If our arms are open, hands are open, and that we're collecting information. We're listening. We're moving our hands. We're engaged. This is so important. And eye contact. Move your head around. Keep engaged with people. Let them know you're in the meeting. You're not looking at your phone. You're not thinking about what you're doing after the meeting. You're engaged. Your hands are there. You're following the beat of the conversation. Posture. Be forward. Listen. Look at them. Follow each person. The do's and don'ts. Do maintain eye contact. Don't slouch. Keep your full shoulders back. Sometimes I slouch. Language during the meeting. I like that idea. Could you tell me more? Have you considered this? Let me think about that for a minute. I think that's a really interesting idea. Could we refine that idea somewhat? Would you be willing to consider this? I think an alternative might be this. I know where you're coming from, but let me tell you about what happened in my previous job. We had a case that was very much like this. We followed the protocol you're talking about, but we just couldn't get the project done. We just kept getting more and more points. We just fell into some real loops on it. Ultimately, we changed our approach and we did this, and this is what happened. Could we consider this and maybe alter the approach somewhat? Transitional phrases. It is common for us to use fillers. You will notice I will say words like so, or like, or I know. We do this because we're just thinking of the next thing we want to say, and there are better ways to say it. Just tell them, I'm thinking about that. I'd like to come up with a different idea. These filler words help us organize our thoughts and signal to others that you're still engaged in the conversation, but there are other ways to do that. Just tell them you're thinking about it. You do have an idea. You'd like to express it. Just give me a moment to consider. Moving on to the next point. Another point to consider is the budget. So what about dealing with nervousness? Being nervous is just plain natural. It's just part of being human, isn't it? We are all afraid of the unknown. We are all afraid that we're going to be found out, that we'll be told, feel like an imposter. Don't we always? We can do things such as take a deep breath, clear your mind, pause for a moment, focus on the message other than yourself. People understand you're just human. You're going to make little mistakes. You're going to say things that are a little off base, and just say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I kind of missed the point. Sample language. Allow me a moment to think, please. That's an excellent point. Let me add to that some questions you might have. What if I make a mistake? Well, you're just human. You're going to make mistakes, aren't you? We all make mistakes. I make mistakes every day. I learn by mistakes, or I try to learn by my mistakes. If I can realize I did make a mistake. Mistakes happen. It's how you recover that counts. What if my accent is really strong? I live in Canada, and in Canada, we are a very multicultural country. We are accustomed to strong accent. If you feel your accent is impeding, is making it difficult for people to understand you, don't speak too fast. Slow down and focus on your pronunciation. You can do tongue twisters and listen to yourself. They are very good for lowering an accent. If you think your accent is affecting people understanding, otherwise your accent is who you are. You've been doing it for 30 years, 35 years, 25 years. So you're not going to lose your accent overnight. However, you can slow down some, and you can focus on your enunciation and talk to me about intonation and some of those things. Today, we covered a lot of different ideas. The main thing is get control of your emotions, keep eye contact, be open, be receptive, be understanding, be ready to do what's best for the team. Focus on how we are going to deliver the project. Use language such as good idea, can we refine it? I really like your idea. I'd like to maybe consider this alternative. Is that okay? If you don't mind, I'd like to take a minute to just tell you about what happened in my previous job. We ran this kind of project and what worked really well. Just be in the conversation. Remember, English is just your tool. And in business English, I always tell my students that fluency is far more important than accuracy. You can make a little grammar mistake. You can mispronounce something. But if you are fluent, if you let your English flow, just as though you weren't feeling any stress. Just focus on the people you know there and keep your eye contact with everyone and just speak to your friends. Speak to them as you would in everyday conversation. Now, if you have some higher level executives, you may want to use a more formal word instead of an informal word. I offer my students, it's easy. I have some exercises that perfect that. The other thing, a lot of my students send me recordings. So if you're preparing for a meeting, record yourself, think about how you would answer certain questions, how you would give an alternative approach to a problem, how you could fit into the conversation, maybe a little bit of an interruption, but apologize for doing it. Mention that you'd like to add a small point, something to this effect, and just enjoy your meeting. Have a good time. By doing this, you will impress your bosses, your co-workers will realize that you are confident in English. Your English is very good and ready to lead you to more leadership roles. Thank you very much. My name's Burton Langell. I'm a business English coach. I hope you will like this, subscribe, make some comments. I will try to look at all the comments and get back to you with any questions you have. And I also offer a 7-day free small talk course. And I think small talk is essential for moving your career along. This course will make you more confident speaking English. It will increase your vocabulary. You will feel better when you take this course. You will be more ready for promotions and more money getting ahead in your career. And it's free. Why wouldn't you take it? Thank you very much.